My fellow Americans, this is Liberation Day.
I always say tariffs is the most beautiful word to me in the dictionary.
Tariffs.
This is a direct attack.
Look, we all know Donald Trump loves a good deal. He also, and let's be honest here, seems to enjoy a bit of chaos. And when you put those two things together, you get the truly terrifying thought. Donald Trump believes chaos is a ladder. But what if that ladder leads to a global recession? Here's a truly disturbing thought. What if, in Trump's mind, if America wants to stay on top of the world, a global recession isn't something to avoid, it's something to create? Now I know that sounds wild, bonkers even, like something a Bond villain with really bad hair would cook up. But stick with me because this video is going to break down how Trump's strategy actually makes a horrifying amount of sense. If you're okay with watching the world economy burn so that America can rise from the ashes. So how do you engineer a global recession? Well, the first step is simple: create chaos. We're talking about tariffs, trade wars, sanctions, unpredictable policies, all designed to shake the global economy. It's like trying to make a souffle while jumping up and down on a trampoline. It's messy, it's unpredictable, and there's a good chance you'll end up with egg on your face. But hey, at least you're creating chaos, right? Now, under Trump's leadership, the US started slapping tariffs on steel, aluminum, and hundreds of billions of dollars worth of goods from China. And I'm not talking about a little slap on the wrist here, I'm talking about a full-on Will Smith at the Oscars slap. These moves didn't just hit China though, oh no. The shockwaves were felt far and wide. They hit Europe, they hit Mexico. They even hit American businesses that rely on global supply chains. Remember that nice predictable rhythm of global trade? Yeah, that's gone. Trump's goal wasn't just to protect American factories, though that was the excuse. It was to break that rhythm, to stir fear, to force companies and countries to make fast, risky moves. Because in chaos there's opportunity. Think of it like a game of musical chairs, but instead of chairs it's economic stability, and instead of music, it's Trump tweeting angry threats. Everyone's scrambling, nobody knows where to sit. And when the music stops, well, someone's going to be left standing in their underwear. And that, my friends, is step one: light the match. Watch the global economy sputter and spark. Now, on to step two. Alright, so the fire started. Global markets are jittery, businesses are sweating, and everyone's looking around nervously, wondering who's going to get burned first. Here's the truly messed up part. The US, under Trump's leadership, isn't trying to avoid the flames, it's actually trying to control the direction of the fire. Think of it like this. Imagine you're in a room full of people and someone throws in a tear gas canister. Now, everyone's going to cough, everyone's going to cry, it's going to be awful. But if you're the one who threw the canister, you can at least position yourself near the door, maybe grab a gas mask on the way out. You're still getting gassed, but you're in a slightly better position than everyone else. That's kind of what's happening here. In this twisted strategy, everyone gets hurt, but America believes it can survive better than anyone else. Why? Well, it has a few things going for it. It's energy independent, it leads in tech, it controls the dollar, has a giant consumer market, and let's not forget it has oceans on both sides. It's like the ultimate survival bunker, but for a country. So Trump turns up the heat, and then waits. He knows America will bleed, but others will bleed more. He's betting on America's resilience, on its ability to weather the storm better than, say, China, which relies heavily on exports, or Europe, with its interconnected economies. And let's not forget about the debt trap. This is where things get really cynical. The idea is to cripple developing countries with debt, often through loans they can't afford. And then, when the recession hits and those countries are at their weakest, swoop in and buy up their assets for pennies on the dollar. It's predatory, it's exploitative, and it's all part of the plan. So yeah, everyone's suffering, but hey, at least America's positioned to pick up the pieces, right? Which brings us to the final and perhaps most disturbing step. Chapter 3. Collect the ashes. Rebuild, dominate, repeat. Okay, so the world's a mess. The global economy is in shambles. Everyone's broke, everyone's scared, and the air smells vaguely of burnt money and despair. Great job, everyone. We really did a number on ourselves this time. But hey, at least someone's happy, right? Enter America, stage right, looking a little worse for wear but still standing. Sure, it took a hit, but remember all those advantages we talked about? The energy independence, the tech dominance, the oceans, yeah, those are really paying off now. And remember all those countries that got absolutely wrecked by the recession? The ones caught in the debt trap? Well, guess who's buying up their assets for a fraction of their actual worth? That's right, it's America, playing the role of the opportunistic vulture, swooping in to pick at the carcass of the global economy. See, America has a history of coming out of recession stronger than before. It's like that friend who shows up to a party, trashes the place, and then somehow manages to charm their way into everyone's good graces by cleaning up a single broken lamp. And once America's consolidated its power, gobbled up all the best deals and re-established itself as the world's undisputed economic superpower, well, it's only a matter of time before the whole cycle starts again. Because if there's one thing we've learned from history, it's that nothing lasts forever. So enjoy this moment of American dominance, because who knows what the future holds. Maybe next time, someone else will be holding the matches. Outro. So are we all just screwed? Look, I'm not an economist. I'm just a guy who spends an unhealthy amount of time reading news articles and then trying to explain them to you while desperately hoping a giant inflatable globe doesn't fall on my head. But even I can see how terrifying this strategy is. Because even if it works, even if America comes out on top, what kind of world are we left with? A world where economic instability is a tool to be wielded, where countries are actively incentivized to screw each other over, and where the gap between the haves and the have-nots grows wider with every manufactured crisis. Honestly, it makes me want to crawl into a bunker myself, but all the good ones are probably already taken by billionaires with better hair than me. So instead I'll just be here trying to make sense of this whole mess, one terrifying news cycle at a time. America, built on chaos. Let's look at some facts, shall we? General Motors, the epitome of American car manufacturing, was founded during the Panic of 1907. Disney, that beacon of joy and childhood memories, rose during the freaking Great Depression. Microsoft, the behemoth of the tech world, decided to grace us with its presence during the 1975 oil crisis. And let's not forget Uber and Airbnb, those darlings of the gig economy, casually launching during the 2008 financial crash like it was nothing. It begs the question, why does this happen? Because, my friends, when everything crashes and burns, when the traditional rules go up in smoke, that's when America gets to work. Weak companies clinging to outdated models disappear. Good ideas, the ones that were considered too risky before, suddenly get funded faster than a squirrel on a double espresso. Innovation speeds up, fueled by necessity and a healthy dose of American hold-my-beer spirit. In chaos, America thrives. Buckle up, buttercup, the wild ride of market volatility. So, Trump's policies, bless their little cotton socks, are about as predictable as a toddler on a sugar rush. One minute it's all trade wars and tariffs, the next it's tax cuts and deregulation. Now, I'm not an economist, but I've watched enough episodes of Shark Tank to know that this kind of volatility makes investors sweat. And when investors sweat, markets get nervous. We're talking about the stock market doing the jitterbug, crypto going on a roller coaster ride that would make even the most hardened adrenaline junkie nauseous, and real estate prices doing that thing where they go up, down, sideways, and then just kind of vibrate. If you're thinking about investing in this climate, well, first off, good for you, you brave soul. But seriously, you'll need nerves of steel, the patience of a saint, and probably a really good financial advisor. Someone who can explain things like derivatives and short selling without making your eyes glaze over. Basically, get ready for a bumpy ride. Job uncertainty. The elephant in the room wearing a Made in America hat. Okay, let's talk jobs, folks. Specifically, the industries that might be sweating a little more than usual thanks to, you guessed it, Trump's policies. Think manufacturing, shipping, anything heavily reliant on global trade. See tariffs and trade wars? They're like that friend who starts a fight at a dinner party. Nobody wins, and everyone's left feeling uncomfortable and slightly bloated. These industries, they thrive on the smooth flow of goods and services across borders. Throw a wrench in the works and suddenly layoffs start looking more likely than a Trump tweet containing the words compassion and empathy. Now, the optimist in the room might say, but wait, won't companies just move their operations back to the US? And to that I say, in a perfect world, sure, but this is 2023, my friend, and things are about as far from perfect as a Trump steak. Moving entire manufacturing plants? That takes time, money, and a level of planning that, frankly, hasn't exactly been this administration's strong suit. So yeah, job uncertainty, it's a thing. Chapter 3. Crisis equals opportunity, the case for optimism, and AI overlords. Now before you start building a bunker in your backyard and stocking up on canned goods, let's talk about the flip side of chaos. Because here's the thing about America. We're really good at taking a big old pile of lemons and making some surprisingly delicious lemonade. Remember that whole creative destruction thing we talked about earlier? Yeah, that's about to kick into overdrive. While some industries might struggle, others are going to see their moment in the sun. Think AI, clean energy, defense tech, biotech. These sectors are already on the rise, and with a little bit of chaos, and by little bit I mean a potentially significant shakeup of the global order, they could explode. We're talking growth faster than a Kardashian's follower count after a well-timed Instagram post. So, if you're an entrepreneur, an innovator, a dreamer with a killer idea, this could be your time to shine. Just, maybe invest in a good helmet, just in case. Chapter 4. The Price is Wrong, Inflation, Tariffs, and Your Grocery Bill. Okay, let's talk about something we all understand. Money, or more specifically, how much more of it you're going to be shelling out for everyday stuff. See, those tariffs we talked about earlier? They're not just some abstract economic concept, they have a very real impact on your wallet. Remember those Made in China stickers you see on, well, pretty much everything? Yeah, those products are about to get a whole lot more expensive. Why? Because tariffs are essentially taxes on imported goods. And guess who pays those taxes? That's right, folks. You, the consumer. So, get ready for higher prices on everything from electronics and cars to clothes and, God forbid, avocado toast. Inflation, that sneaky little devil, could rear its ugly head again, especially in key sectors like electronics, cars, and yes, even groceries. So, if you've been thinking about buying that new flat-screen TV or finally treating yourself to that fancy imported cheese, you might want to do it sooner rather than later. Because tomorrow, it might just cost you an arm, a leg, and your firstborn child. Outro America plays to win, even if the rules are made up. So, there you have it. A crash course in Trump's Phoenix economy. Will it rise from the ashes? Will it crash and burn spectacularly? Or will it just kind of sputter along, leaving a trail of confusion and economic uncertainty in its wake? Honestly, at this point your guess is as good as mine. Let me know what you think. Drop Trump as Thanos in the comments if you want more videos like this. And hey, if we hit 9,000 comments, I'll give one random viewer a free 2-night stay at a Trump hotel. Pinky promise. Okay, maybe not, but comment anyway. If you found this breakdown helpful, hit that like button. Let's get this video to 5,000 likes so more people can understand what's really going on. Because in the end, America doesn't play fair, it plays to win. And chaos, that might just be the plan.